it's the Church of Jesus Christ.
We are on the forefront of a war because this trans movement is now an assault on the youngest of children at elementary school level.
When it comes to the public schools, they have been dangerous for a long time. There is a dangerous agenda where the political left, they're trying to steal our children, corrupt our children, and if you look at their agenda, it doesn't respect life at any stage, and certainly not the lives of children.
Recently, we're seeing a growing push to indoctrinate America's youth with radical sex education and gender studies curricula. These gender ideologues have infiltrated the halls of education with the goal of brainwashing some of the most vulnerable among us.
Our children are being targeted all the way down to the kindergarten level with new radical sex ed curriculum materials that are now mandatory in every public school and charter school in the state of California, and many school districts in the Midwest have actually been convinced to adopt it as well.
The LGBT caucuses and political movements are so ingrained in the school systems from university all the way down to preschool and elementaries now that they've created massive educational programs being pushed, by the way, by the Biden administration currently and minions below, to teach children with publications and illustrated examples of the most personal things about sex acts like masturbation. They're beginning to teach 5-year-olds now in the school systems.
A popular social media account called Libs of TikTok has been in the spotlight recently for exposing the insane gender ideology that thousands of teachers are imparting on young school children. Watch as one teacher describes her interaction with first graders.
This is my first year as I'm out as a non-binary teacher. But it's hard. It's hard to think how to talk about it and how to make it pithy and catchy. I just read They, She, He, Me, Free to Be. I just read this book to a grade 1 class, and one of the students came out as trans.
To think that a first grader is capable of understanding the gravity behind a decision like that is beyond belief. Watch as another teacher discusses how she is quietly helping third graders find new gender identities.
I am an openly queer teacher. Now, I don't stand in front of my elementary students and be like, I like women, but I wear a bi flag watch band, bi flag bracelets. Two third grade students came to me and asked me to use they, them pronouns, and also asked me if I could tell other teachers this. One student in particular also asked to use a different name, one that is not gendered as what they were born as.
To make matters worse, some schools are providing transition closets for students who want to hide their new gender identity from their parents.
The goal of the transition closet is for our students to be able to wear the clothes that their parents approve of, come to school, and then swap out into the clothes that fit who they truly are. And I use the idea that this is like Superman changing in a phone booth. And so this gives our trans students the opportunity to be the superheroes that we know they are.
The activists now want to get to the kids early and steer them along that path regardless of the parents' wishes. This is happening especially in California, where the schools are lining up to push the transgender agenda on kids as young as elementary school and try to cut parents out of the equation. Why? Because the parents are appalled. They know that that's no future for their child.
I think that when you're talking about the transgender issue, you have to go back to what the most basic arguments are, because it gets so clouded and crowded in the mainstream media. What transgenderism is when someone doesn't feel comfortable in their body. They want the gender dysphoria to conquer the person And they want the person to, instead of embracing their body and how they were naturally born, they want that person to mutilate their body. They want that person to change their body, and they're saying that they'll be happier. Well, we all know that people aren't happier by physical things. They're happier when they get their mind ready and their soul ready.
Also in California, some schools are beginning to offer gender treatment centers where students can receive transition treatment, all without parents' consent.
In Orange County, the Children's Hospital of Orange County has a gender treatment clinic, and they are going around to school boards and offering them free counseling services. Parents do not know the harm this could lead to for their child if their child brings up gender questioning or questioning about their sexual attraction. They will be funneled in a direction parents may not want.
Clearly, these dangerous programs are no longer under the radar. Parents around the nation are starting to take notice.
Parents should be very concerned about sex ed today. People think they know what is in sex ed, but they don't know. Parents may be somewhat aware that sex ed is increasingly graphic and that it's starting at younger and younger ages, and all of that is problematic.
In 44 states in America, there's a law called the Obscenity Exemption Law. And that law allows children to be exposed to porn, but only in schools and libraries. Parents are waking up all over the country because they're going into their schools, and what they're finding is if you look in your child's school database, or if you look in the libraries, you're going to find very pornographic sexual material. We don't want this pornography in our schools. We don't want our children to be taught how to, this is the new trend, how to teach children how to consent to sex acts is now part of the school curricula.
According to a study published by the American Academy of Pediatrics, more than half of transgender male teens have attempted suicide in their lifetime, with almost 30% of transgender female teens saying the same thing. This push by the radical left to indoctrinate students into changing their gender is putting children in grave danger and needs to be stopped.
There is such a danger to children because of the hormone therapies that they're offering. We even see, like the state of California, that are wanting to create a slush fund to offer hormone therapy to elementary school children. And what they do then is they're sterilizing the children. There's no studies of long-term effects on children with some of these hormone therapies. There is evidence that many of these hormone therapies cause cancer. We already know that they sterilize these children. And then the idea is that they would create slush funds for the females to have healthy breast tissue removed before they go into puberty, and that is akin to child abuse. And I don't know how anyone can think giving hormones to prepubescent children and to actually remove healthy breast tissue from little girls or pre-teenage girls so that they can transition, that this is a good idea.
The long-term mental and physical and even lifespan implications are very, very serious. Children are right now the most vulnerable victims to this new radical movement, and parents need to be responsible. They need to understand the reality and look at the best and most responsible way to deal with this new threat to the health and safety and spiritual welfare of their children.